Alright, these are our pitcher upgrades for the roster update coming out on May 5th. You can find the hitter upgrades on this very channel, or if you are a subscriber to my Twitch channel, you can find them in the video on demand section there. Let's go ahead and start with the obvious one, the one that was on last week. That is even more deserving of an upgrade now. Chris Sale. Don't throw baseballs at people. That's a shitty thing to do. But beyond that, you still deserve an upgrade, Mr. Sale. You're a freaking beast. Moving up his strikeout rate +3 to 90. He's got a career best 12.4 strikeout per 9. That's third best in the majors. He's got the third best strikeout rate since 2015, 30%. I mean, he's an absolute monster. And I mean, the upgrade is coming. It has to be. It just has to be. And he's already really good this year. Hits per 9 up to 82. He's got a 5.1 hits 9, 164 average. That's third this year, both of those. 222 average is 8th since 2015. So again, this isn't even new stuff. He just continues to dominate and reach new heights. His walks per 9, I'm going to bump up 6 points to 89. He's had 1.8, 1.8, and 1.6 in 15, 16, and 17. 5% walk rate, that's 5th since 2015. And yet he has the 15th best BB per 9 among live series starting pitchers. That's peculiar. So I think I'm moving him all the way up to 89. Didn't mess with his homer per 9. Doesn't affect the game anyway. And I didn't think it was deserving of an upgrade. So there has been some talk of maybe he needs okay, I don't care that you tweeted me a picture of your BR lineup, dude. Sorry. There's been some talk of maybe velocity bump. Let me see here. Oh, he is averaging 95 again. I'm gonna leave it as is, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm gonna keep an eye on it for sure. He can get up 95, 96, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. I'm gonna leave it. Up to 96. What a total monster. One of the best pitchers in the game this year. Absolutely. I really struggled using him last year, the live series version. Obviously, everyone did well with that rookie flashback card. But this year, I've found myself having more success with him. He's just been nasty. I mean, this is the new era's Randy Johnson right now with the funky mechanics, the devastating slider, the high heat. You know, he doesn't quite have 90, 99, 100 the way Randy did, but it's a pretty good replication of one of the best pitchers ever. All right, next up is a guy people have been asking about, and yeah, he got knocked around tonight against, I think it was against the Braves, but I do think Jacob deGrom still deserving of an upgrade, even in light of getting knocked around tonight. He's still striking out tons of guys. Got a career best 12.5. Strikeout per 9 rate, that's second in the majors. I'm actually going to check here on the fly and see what it's at after tonight, just to see if there's any change. Okay, it came down a little bit because he only struck out 5 in 5. So he only had 1 strikeout per inning. So it's down to 12.0, which probably moves him down from like 2nd to 6th or something in the league. Either way, I'm giving him a 6-point boost here, up to 82. I'm moving his hits 9 up 5 points to 77. His 7.4 hits per 9, which again probably changed a little bit tonight after getting knocked around a little bit by Atlanta. Nothing to really freak out about. It's one tough start. He's back in line with his 2014 and 2015 levels as far as hits per 9 go. So I'm matching his 2015 hits per 9 of 77. I went and looked back on Daddy Leagues to see where he was in 2015. He was at 77. So I went ahead and moved him there. So here's something that I might change on the fly here, because this was done before tonight's start. His walk rate is up from 6% to 9% this year. He's got about a full walk more per 9 that he's allowing. And I'd originally looked, and I started looking at some of the indicators, and I was like, well, you know what? The underlying skills don't suggest that this is like a major issue. Well, then he walked 5 tonight. And yes, it is one start, but I was already kind of on the fence about downgrading his walk rate. And now I see 5 more walks tonight, so I am going to bump it down just 3 points to 73. I don't want to overreact, but it is definitely a career high, and now after tonight's start, it's probably going to be closer to 9-10% walk rate. So it's actually at 8.6 right now, rounded up to 9, probably go up to like 9.5 or flat 10. So if he continues to have walk issues, it's going to continue to go down, kind of like Jake Arrieta last year. But if everything else is in order, it's not really going to matter. Let's see where this takes him. Takes him up to a 91, so he is in fact a diamond, even with the downgraded BB per 9. What did I do, -3 there? I gotta add that in to my notes. But yeah, I mean, he's pitching like a diamond pitcher, even with a crappy outing tonight. Like, we can't just go too crazy over each outing and say, well, does he suck now? No, he doesn't suck. He had a tough outing. And against a division rival, even I know the Braves aren't elite by any stretch of the imagination, but a division rival, they see you so often that, you know, even the worst team, you know, if you're facing a garbage team like the Twins or the Reds, and, you know, who would be a loser enough to follow either of those clubs? I can't think of anybody that I know that would follow either of those clubs. But like, let's just say, for example, you're facing those loser teams, but if you're in their division, you face them so regularly that they can rise up and get you. The Reds notoriously beat up on some really good pitchers. I think they absolutely decimate Garrett Cole's life, if I recall correctly. And, you know, the Twins at times have beaten the greatest team in the world, the Detroit Tigers. But again, those teams don't matter. Nobody would actually cheer for them. I can't think of anybody, you know, that I know that would ever cheer for those teams. Moving on. This guy gives me headaches, y'all, because I can't figure him out. Michael Pineda, a.k.a. Michael Pineda. He's having the most Michael Pineda season ever. Still striking everybody out, still walking nobody, still giving up way too many home runs. It's as Pineda-y as it gets. And yet, I got to give him some love, because, you know, he's still got those base skills that really kind of drive the success in this game. And so I'm going to start by giving him even 4 more down on his homer per night, because he's even allowing more homers this year. We got to, you know, can't just give upgrades. Got to be honest about where he needs downgrades. So we're going to do that, but we're also going to give him +8 on his strikeout rate. So he's going to go all the way up to 81. He's got an 11.6 K9, a 32% strikeout rate. Those are both career bests. They're 5th and 4th in the majors right now. He's 12th in strikeout percentage since 2015 with 26%. And yet he's 39th in K9 among starting pitchers, live series starting pitchers. That doesn't make any sense. He's been striking out guys forever, so he needs to have that capability. And his walk rate, I'm bumping it up 2 more points. 1.3 per 9 is 4th. 4%, 3.5% if you want to be technical. That ranks 5th. He's 7th in walk rate since 2015 at 5%. Here's a little reference. Ivan Nova is at 0.8% walk rate this year. He's walked 1 guy. But since 2015, he's tied with Michael Pineda at 5%. So the reason I'm gonna keep Pineda just shy of Nova, because Nova's at 90. I'm gonna acknowledge what Nova's doing this year. Like, kind of give him a little hat tip for his insanity this year. But I got Pineda right behind him at 88. So that's how I came to that conclusion there. And he gets a little improvement here. I'm just gonna go +3 on the hits 9. 8.2 hits per 9. That's an improvement for him, but it's not special. It's really not. His .234 batting average against, that's 46th in the majors. Okay. His .266 average since 2015 is 70th out of 83 pitchers with a minimum of 300 innings. He gets beat around the yard because he has no command. He has good control. He does not have good command. So the thing of it is, with the strikeout and walk rates, he could be a usable card for you. If you don't have to worry about the home run rate. So if you pitch well with him, you can overcome this hits per 9. but there are some deficiencies for sure. Now you use him in like a franchise situation where you're simming and the homer per 9 matters, he's going to get clocked. Let's see if this takes him to gold. It doesn't. 84. He's been gold before. I think he was gold for like 2 minutes last year, and then he went and did his normal thing where he gets his face caved in for a couple starts, and that was quickly over. So we'll see if he gets there again this year. It wouldn't surprise me. It also is not going to surprise me when he comes back to earth, y'all. I do not think that this is some new level. The only reason that I feel confident upgrading the strikeout and walk ratios, though, is because those have always been there. It's the 3.14 ERA and the 105 WHIP, which I don't really buy. I think those will eventually come up, but those aren't, ERA is not measured in these numbers. That's why I don't really get hung up on ERA. I focus on the skills. All right, next up. Quickly, I'm not staying up on the chat, but I was switching screens. Somebody asked about Jason Vargas. He was on last week's upgrades, and he already got an upgrade, so there's not a whole lot to be done for him. All right, next up is Michael Wacha on St. Louis. He's having a pretty good year so far. It's all about health with him, man. The talent's been there for a long time. It's just a matter of can he actually stay upright. I'm going to put him up at 68 over here, 70 on his walk 9, and 66 on his hits 9. Homer per 9 is fine. Basically, we're pushing him back toward his previous peak. He's got 8.2 K9, 23% strikeout rate. Those are bests since his rookie debut. The velocity is back up. I'm going to move it up a couple ticks. I don't even know that. I don't know how much it does say. So see how it's 94 right here, but it's still 94, 94, 94. Like, and that's where it switches. I don't know if like moving it within the 94 realm gives you like more juice on your high end or what. But he is averaging one of his best fastballs this year. Let me see, or his best fastball. 94.5. So I'm just moved it up a couple of ticks. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And Wacha goes up to an 82. He's a new silver. So it's kind of like that rookie card that he has, or is it an all-star card? I don't know, but that other card that he has is an 82. All right. Here you go, guys. Now, you guys like to cite ERA and like win-loss record when you're asking me to upgrade somebody, and it's so frustrating because those couldn't be more irrelevant to upgrades. And I'm very reluctant to do this because I don't really think he deserves an upgrade. But I think they might acknowledge what he's doing, and I like being right. So if he does get an upgrade, I can say I gave him one. Mike Leake. This is such a bad idea. He doesn't need an upgrade. I'm going to upgrade his homer per 9 a little bit. He hasn't given one up yet. He's a chronic home run guy. For his career, he's got a 1.1 homer per 9, and he hasn't given up any this year. Gee, I'm sure that's going to hold. I'm sure he's just a completely different guy at age 32 or whatever the hell he is. 29, excuse me. I'm sure that he just stopped giving up homers all of a sudden. We'll see. I'm not confident, but I'm moving it up. What is it? 3 points. 3 points there, and I'm moving it up his hit 9, 3 points. He's got a 7.6 hits per 9 on a 9.3 career mark. Guys, this is just a hot run. Mike Leake has like one of these runs every year or something, similar to it. He's got a 1.35 ERA and 5 starts. Like, that's really, really good. I acknowledge that. Like, I'm not denying that he's been very good, but I don't know. There's no real skill change behind it, and that's why I don't understand why you guys are so insistent on him getting an upgrade. I just don't think it's going to be anything. He had a 1.59 ERA for 5 starts from May 10th to May 31st last year. same kind of thing. Was awesome for 5 starts, just as he has been this year, and still ended up with a 4.69 ERA and the same damn skills that he's had every year. So I'll give him this tiny upgrade just to appease some of you jackals, but I don't even necessarily agree with it. 80. Was that moving to a silver from whatever he was? What was he, a 78? I don't even know what his initial was. Let me look that up. 78, yeah. You guys are going to be really upset, those of you that think Mike Leake is some superstar now, when he doesn't get a Player of the Month card. I really hope he doesn't. That'd be so funny. Frankly, I don't think he deserves one. It should go to the guys who have actually improved their skills, not just had a good run. That's just my opinion, though. All right, next up is Dan Straily for Miami. I don't know where this came out. This kind of came out of nowhere for him, man. He's striking everybody out. What am I doing here? Wrong way. Sorry. He's striking guys out like crazy. So I'm giving him a boost there. I'm giving him 6 on that. Let me see. He's got a 10.0 strikeout per 9. That's 18th in the league. 27% is 15th. There is some swinging strike rate growth. Not a whole lot, so it's a little fraudulent. I'm just a little bit nervous on it. He's 58th out of 145 in strikeout per 9 since 2015. So he needs an upgrade here, but nothing too crazy. You know what? I'm actually gonna go 72. I'm gonna go a couple extra points there. I'm giving you some love, Dan Straily. And then I moved his hit 9 up 2 points to 76. He leads the National League with 5.9 hits per 9, a 215 average. Oh, actually, I gave this 3. I edited it. That's right. I made a late change. I moved it up 3 points because he does have a 215 average average against since 2015. That's 6th in the league. I'm really impressed by that. But any upgrade puts him in the range of Kluber, Verlander, Hendricks, Lester, and Bumgarner. So it felt kind of weird to put him there, but a 215 average since 2015 says he's been doing it for a while. So you got to give the love where it's due. That moves him up to a 74. And whatever it is in his game keeps him from allowing hits. But when he does allow hits, it's usually a home run, and it's usually with somebody on base because he's walking a lot of guys. All right, that's it for starters. That's Chris Sale, 93 to 96. Jacob deGrom, 89 to 91. Michael Pineda, 82 to 84. Michael Wacha, 79 to 82. Mike Leake, 78 to 80. Dan Straily, 72 to 74. Some starting pitchers to monitor. Dallas Keuchel. He's got diamond potential if he continues. Here's the thing. You guys keep citing his ERA. That doesn't mean anything. His skills are virtually identical. Right now, there is some potential avenue for upgrade, this week with his hits 9 and his BB 9, because he has made some improvements in his walk rate, but not even that stark. And same with the hits 9 is way down. He's done really well there, but it's so early to make a sharp change on that. So I'm careful here, and I just don't know if they're going to make the upgrade, because any upgrade could kind of put him in diamond. And I don't know if they're ready to put Dallas Keuchel back into diamond. Now, he does have a diamond card out there, and if you compare the two, I'll put it in the Twitch chat right now. You can kind of see that the hits 9 is what's really going to get him there, because the strikeout rate, he doesn't have a strikeout rate like he did that year. So I don't think he's going to get a big upgrade there. I could move up his BB9, but there's only 4 other points. He had an 80 on that diamond card. He's got a 76 right now. The homer per 9 is just about even. It really is the hits 9 that is really going to drive it. So this is not an official upgrade, but let's see if they just give him a 5-point upgrade. They just say, here, we see what you're doing. Here's a little hat tip. Okay, that moves him up to 88. So maybe that happens. Maybe they acknowledge him right away with that. I think that personally, if I was doing it, I would wait a little bit and see if he continues to pitch like this, and then just move him to diamond. I don't see any reason to kind of just move him up within the gold. See if he goes another month or so, and around Memorial Day, if he's still just dominating with the amazing ground ball rate, weak contact, getting outs, like getting people to chase like crazy, then you give him the upgrade to like 80 hits 9. Maybe not that. Well, yeah, I don't know. I can see it. I can see it because that's what it is on the diamond card, I think, right? Let me see. Where did I put that? It's 81. So, yeah, let's say we moved it up to 80 on Memorial Day after he keeps dominating. Well, that still wouldn't even get him to diamond. So he would have to continue to do other things, like maybe improve his strikeout rate, or you move up that walk rate to kind of go with what he had the year of the diamond, and then you get him there. So I just don't see it yet, y'all. If they upgrade him, I'll get it. I'll understand because it'll be the hits 9 because he has been so good with it. But I don't know. It's a 186 BABIP, a 99% left on base rate. Like, he's pitching very well right now. His stuff looks amazing. I'm planning on doing a breakdown of him at Fangraphs very soon. I'm not discounting what he's doing. I just don't know that it merits an upgrade yet. So that's why I just put him as somebody to monitor. Another guy I'm monitoring that I did upgrade, I think, last week that I kind of pulled back on a little bit is Zack Greinke. Similar sort of deal where I'm saying I see what he's doing. I'm digging it. The K rate is soaring. The swing strike rate is there to back it up. The walk rate's improved, but he might have to drop his velocity. He still has 9.1 hits per 9, though, and that worries me a little bit. So I think they should just be cautious. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to upgrade him to diamond to have to bring him back. Like, that sucks. He's still allowing 1.2 homers as well. Like, his hits and homers are still too high for Greinke. So I think that they want to be cautious, or they should want to be cautious. I would chill out. Like you said, I upgraded him last week. I got him to diamond. I'm pulling a little bit back on that. I'm keeping an eye on him though. He's been pitching brilliantly. He does have a diamond card out there, so there's not urgency to get him back to diamond. And then Lance McCullers is another one that I'm monitoring. You guys already know I love Lance McCullers. I called him as a pretty much instant gold upgrade. He's already, pretty damn close. And I really think that if he pitches to his capability, he could be a diamond this year. Now, that would take a lot. That would take like the breakout special season because he would really have to improve that walk rate, which it's improving, but the underlying indicators don't back it up yet. He does have the strikeout rate working already. Like, that's already there, and they could upgrade that. I bet you it takes, well, I don't know. We'll see. I bet 2 ticks could probably get you to gold. No, not quite. Okay, so he would need more than that. But I'm keeping an eye. Like, he hasn't pitched enough in the majors to have like a baseline yet because he only threw 81 innings last year. Health has been a concern. I love Lance McCullers. He's got dirty stuff. He's pitching pretty well, but I'm tapping the brakes and not upgrading him just yet. And then teammate Charlie Morton is another one that I'm just monitoring right now. His strikeout rate is really high. His velocity needs to be upgraded. I think he only throws 92 right now. And he should be throwing closer to 94. It's only 9 starts between this year and last year because he got hurt, but he does have a 9.9 strikeout rate, but he does have a career 6.5. So there's a lot of time weighing on his strikeout rate. If he keeps it going, and again, we get to Memorial Day, we're about 2 months in, then he gets an upgrade as far as I'm concerned. All right, let's talk relievers. Got some fun upgrades here. I'm kind of interested, eager to do these. I'm interested in all of them, but I'm eager to do these as well. By the way, I'll spoil it since we're already on this team. Davinsky is a monitor. I'm not giving him back-to-back upgrades, but I love what Chris Davinsky's doing. He's obviously a gold potential. Anytime you're at 84, it's kind of stating the obvious. But I think there's a lot of potential here. What they really need to do, I think, more than a ratings upgrade, is to improve his control and break on just about every one of his pitches, except maybe this one here, the changeup, which already has it. But I've been watching him. His stuff is nasty. He doesn't throw super hard. He can go 93 to 95. He can touch 95. That doesn't mean he sits there, but he can touch it. And the strikeout rate that he's been having, if he keeps going at the pace that we're seeing, he'll be in the 90s, and he'll be an easy gold. Chris Davinsky's been amazing. But yeah, that's a monitor. That's not an upgrade yet, or not another one yet. He already got one. All right, let's go over to San Francisco and look at everyone's favorite cheeseball, Hunter Strickland. It's been my experience that people either decimate Hunter Strickland or cannot touch him. There's nothing in between. I don't feel like I ever have like a, pitch an inning, give up a hit and a walk, but no runs and strike out 2. I either strike out the side or give up 5 runs. Like nothing in between with Strickland. It's so crazy. Thankfully, I feel like I'm on the side where I can usually hit him more often than not, but I know some people still struggle. He's got good stuff, but I do think he is deserving of an upgrade. He's been pitching really well this year. I gave him the hit 9, 4-point upgrade up to 86. He's got a 4.5 hits per 9, 201 batting average. Is 28th since 2015. He's 46th in hit 9 among relievers and closers right now. That seems crazy to me. So I bumped him up here to 86. Strikeouts per 9, I'm bumping up to 79. Here's the thing. He should have more strikeouts than he does. He doesn't quite utilize his stuff to its fullest. I don't know what it is. Actually, I think I have an idea what it is. I think in real life, his fastball is a little bit straight, and so even though it can pop 100, the opposition sees it pretty well at times, and they can get good wood on it and get base hits off him, though he doesn't allow homers. That is one thing. Like, he keeps the ball in the park. Now, you might remember him from, like, a devastating Nationals Giants series where he gave up a hell of a lot of home runs in the playoffs. But in the regular season, he doesn't allow homers. But I gave that a +5. He's 92nd in strikeout rate since 2015, but 45th this year. So he's making improvements. He's getting there. He's at a 28%. He could be a 35+% strikeout rate guy, and then we can start talking about getting him into the 80s. And then his homer per 9, I did move it up as well. That's just going to give us an overall ratings boost. Again, homer per 9 does not affect online gameplay. He's at .59 since 2015. That's 36th. And yet he's 47th in homer per 9 among relievers and closers. So I moved him up. And that's going to probably take him to gold, if I had to guess, up to an 87. So he goes 83 to 87. All right, next up is hopefully a future closer, but right now just a reliever, Justin Wilson for the Tigers. We all remember him from last year. He was a silver. He was really good. This year he seems to be on negative inside edge every damn day, which is frustrating. But I'm giving him some nice upgrades here. I'm moving him up to 86 on the strikeouts per 9. He's at 44% this year. That's 4th in baseball. 14.7 strikeouts per 9. That is insane. 28% strikeout rate since 2015 is 45th in the league. So he's solid since 2015, but he's up arrow. He's moving up. So that's why he gets up to an 86 here. His walks per 9, I'm just moving it up to 60, just acknowledging what he's doing. Mostly this is to catch up a little bit because I think the 55 was a little bit too low. He's 90th out of 229 since 2015. He's not elite or anything like that, but I think he's better than a 55. Maybe split the difference and call it 57, but I went ahead and I juiced him a little bit at 60. Maybe I'm a Tigers homer, but I'll move it to 57 just so people don't think I'm a homer. Fine. I'll just do +2. But I am moving his hits 9 up to 77. I do think he definitely deserves that. He's got a .77 batting average, .077 batting average this year. That's 3rd in the league. Crazy that that's 3rd among relievers. He's got a 229 since 2015. That's 91st. But again, moving up every year, like improving every year. So that's why he's getting moved up. If we get him up into silver here, this could be somebody that we use more regularly in our lineups. That's going to move him to an 82, which is silver. And I do think that if he continues with the way he's striking guys out and stifling hits, that there is gold potential down the line. I absolutely think that with Justin Wilson. I think that somebody said that this year when you move positions from reliever to closer, it doesn't do anything. So even if he does get the closer's role, it's not going to change anything, which is right. It shouldn't. That was kind of a silly thing last year, but I do think he'll eventually move into closer for the Tigers because K-Rod's going to put me in an early grave, y'all. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. All right, speaking of lefties, and because lefties have been tough to come by this year, they're always on down inside edge. We're going to upgrade Felipe Rivero. He has averaged 95, 96, and 97 on his fastball. It's moving up. So I don't think 94 is cutting it anymore. So I'm giving him an upgrade here into the 80, right into 85, so that he can get into that 96, 97, maybe push 98 range from the left side. That's really, really good, by the way. Additionally, I'm moving up his homers per 9, which again doesn't mean anything for us, but it will boost up his overall. He's allowed .64 homers per 9 since 2015. That's good for 47th in the league among relievers. And then his walks per 9, I'm moving up 6 points to 59. He's 40th this year at 6%. Right now, he's 125th among relievers and closers. So I just don't think he's getting the love. Even before this year, he was 100th. So he was still kind of lower than he should have been, but factoring in the fact that he's also improved this year with some skills growth behind it, I'm bumping him up to a 59, which is, again, is not crazy, but is useful. So he goes from an 89 up to an 82. He's a, did I say 89? 79 to 82. He's a silver. He should be. He's awesome. Felipe Rivero's a sneak tip beast, y'all. Now, the one bummer about upgrading some of these guys is that messes with your BR, right? Because using him as a bronze draft in BR is awesome, but now having to spend a silver, I would still do it, but it's not as valuable. All right, we got a couple guys out in San Diego to upgrade. First is their closer, Brandon Maurer. And he's been improving yearly. So I think he could really break out this year. He's 10th in walk rate. He's he's 10th in strikeout rate, 5th in walk rate, 4th in strikeout minus walk rate, which is a very key metric to really get an idea of what guys are doing just with their base skills. Their swing strike rate, first pitch strike support, there's a lot to support what he's doing. So I'm going to give him some pretty healthy upgrades here. I'm going +8 on both of these, on his strikeout and walk rate, and I'm going +5 on his hits per 9. He's got a heavy ground ball uptick. He's got a drop in hard contact rate. There's just a lot going well for Brandon Maurer right now, to the point where I think he could end up being pretty useful this year. Does throw 95. Has got a devastating slider as his main pitch. He could be a sneak tip guy to use too. Got a good circle change and a curveball. I mean, he's got a deep arsenal because he was just starting a couple years ago, so he's got that deep arsenal. I like what he's doing. 82 moves him up to a silver here. 5-point upgrade. I think he deserves it, though. This is a repeat from last week. The next one here, Brad Hand. I'm going to keep beating that drum, though, because I really think he needs to get upgraded. And again, it would give us another lefty that we could use. Notice he's got a 36 stamina, like the guys that have a little bit extra stamina that we can use when those games go deeper in extra innings and whatnot as well. So remember, last week we gave him pretty huge upgrades, and I'm going to do it again. Same upgrades, really. We're going 25 here up to 87. And the hits 9 is also going up 25 to 88. And those are pretty stark upgrades, but they're necessary. And who I compared him to was Ryan Buchter, the guy on his own team, who's got a 98 strikeout per 9 with a 10.8 strikeout rate. Well, Brad Hand is at 11.1 since last year. So why is Ryan Buchter higher than him? And so much higher than him. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm still leaving Buchter where he is, but I'm getting Hand up there. And then he's got a 6.0 hits per 9, 184 average. Buchter has a 99 hits 9 at 5.1. Now Buchter deserves it with the hits 9, but I do think that that Hand should get a pretty big upgrade. So this is a really sharp upgrade for him, but I think he absolutely deserves it. He was awesome last year, and he's showing that last year was no fluke. Now he goes all the way up to a gold, and that's probably a bridge too far for San Diego. I don't know that they want to make him their San Diego's second gold, but I'm really surprised that they've given him a pretty mediocre rating when Ryan Buchter out here just getting 98, 99. So, I'm going to stick by it. I stand by the upgrades that I make. That I put in the work. I put 25s on both of them. 85 might be too high. They might not want to go gold. Either way, I think he deserves an upgrade, a heavy upgrade, up to at least a silver, but I've got him at an 85 gold. All right, couple more, and if you were in the Celebration stream the other night, you know who these two guys are. I put them on your radar. I also emailed about them, of course. These two studs are commons, but they are out of their minds right now. Tommy Kahnle has been absolutely ridiculous. He's been so ridiculous that he got a full write-up on Fangraphs by Jeff Sullivan. If you look, he's already got some decent stuff here for being a common. But I'm moving the strikeout rate up 6 points to 82. So he had a solid but not elite 9.5 strikeout rate from 2015 to 2016. This year is at 19. 19 strikeouts per 9 because he has 19 strikeouts in 9 innings. Now he's only throwing 9 innings. So I want to be careful not to get too over the top, but at the same time, there's some changes here. And the stuff is there, and so I think he needs some upgrades. He also has just 1 walk in the 9 innings. Now, he had awful walk issues prior to this year. And so I'm not going to all of a sudden just move him up to like a 60 or 70 or anything like that. But I am going to give him a pretty decent upgrade from 25. 25 is pretty stark. But I don't want to go too silly. So I just moved him up to a 43. So, I think it's pretty fair. Get him up there, acknowledge what he's been doing with not walking guys this year in the time that he's pitched. He hasn't, like I said, hasn't pitched a ton of time, but not walking guys. Mostly the strikeouts is what needs the love. I'd be okay if they only gave him like an upgrade to like 37 walk rate. Like, I understand if they need to keep his walk rate down because of what he did the previous couple of years. That totally makes sense to me. But I also think they should consider upgrading his velocity. The last, for his career, since 2014, he's gone 95, 96, 97, 98. He's gone up every single year. Now, being an average of 96, he could probably reach 98, but I think we should bump it up to 97, to where that's where he's sitting, so that he can get that 98, 99 every once in a while as well. And then his hits 9, I'm going to bump up 3 points. Again, improving every single year. 244, 212, 188 averages the last 3 years. He's 85th in average since 2015, but 49th since last year. So we're seeing major improvements. Strikeouts and walks. So they can't touch him. It's basically what you get out of a guy like this. The opposition can't touch Kahnle. What usually happens is he gets himself in trouble by walking too many guys, and then when they do get a hit, it's a 2-run single instead of just a meaningless single because he walked 2 guys. Well, this year he's not walking guys, and if he continues to do that, I think we can really see some improvements here. But I like what I've seen out of Tommy Kahnle here this year, and that's why I gave him some pretty substantial upgrades. So he goes from 68 all the way up to a 75. And I definitely think that silver is in his future if he continues to pitch like this. And if you look, this is a very usable common right now, and it would become a very usable bronze. And I do think that if he continues to pitch like this, then we're talking about a silver that you actually want to have in your lineup regularly, because he's got the fastball, slider, changeup combo too. So he's got everything that you need. All right, then this last one is another, crazy low common. This is actually the worst guy on their team from a relief pitcher standpoint. That includes the minor leaguers. Wandy Peralta is a 44 right now. And here's the thing. Remember Grant Dayton from last week that I told you guys about? He ended up getting his upgrade. And we talked about how he was criminally underrated to start the season. That's actually not the case with Wandy. Cy Wandy, as Brady and Liam call him. Because he wasn't very good in his 7 innings of work last year. And he's only got 12 innings of work this year. But I am going to make some stark upgrades. Because the reason is, with relievers specifically, they don't need a huge sample to make stark changes and be like, whoa, he's a different pitcher. First off, they're pitching shorter samples. They can change one pitch. They could ditch a pitch. They could get a new one. Like, things can change in an instant for relievers. So I am going to make some pretty stark upgrades here. First off, we're going to go all the way up to 76 with the strikeout rate. That's a plus 30. He's trusting his slider a hell of a lot more, and this is a major change from 6% usage to 33% usage, and the pitch has been devastating. He's got a 13.5 strikeout per 9 rate, good for 42% if you're looking at percentage. This is a big move off of a small sample, but the magnitude of the sample, I think, merits the move. And he also has a 23% swinging strike rate, which really backs up what he's doing. That's actually a tick ahead of Chris Davinsky. I'm moving his walk rate up as well. Now, I'm not going crazy on that because he does have a 2.1 walks per 9, which is excellent, but I don't know that he's going to keep that up yet. First off, he walked a lot of guys in the minors. His first pitch strike rate is not that great, so there's not a whole lot of backing to it. But kind of like Kahnle, I'm just getting it out of the 20s, and I'm moving it into the low 40s. I got 44 for him. I don't want to overrate it. He had a 4.0 walk rate in the minors, so I want to be cautious here. Again, if they had it like as a 36, 37, I'd be fine with that. I'm going a little bit more on the aggressive side. But then the hits now, I'm moving all the way up to 69. Nice. I can't give him a boost commensurate with his 2.8 hits per 9. That would be crazy. But the nasty stuff that he's shown with the fastball, and we're going to talk about his breaking pitch, by the way. I called it a slider earlier. Some sites say slider, some sites say curve. We're going to give him a slurve. We're going to change the game here. I'll get more than that in a minute. But the nastiness of that and the velocity of his fastball, that kind of explains why he's been so unhittable. He has a 136 BABIP. That's not going to stick. He's going to give up a few more hits, but he needs a big upgrade. Now, again, sites differ on whether it's a curve or a slider, so let's just call it a slurve, and we're going to change it with these settings here. So I'm going to go slurve, and then I'm going to go, the velocity sits in the mid-80s. And the break, the control is going to be about a 45. Because he kind of buries it. You know, it's one of those that's nasty and it fools him. Like, he doesn't have amazing control of it, but he's showing some. And then I'm going to go 69. No, I had 70 in here. I was going to do 69 again because I'm a child, but I put down 70. I'm going to stick with 70. So, yeah. That's going to be a really good pitch, and his velocity needs to go up big time. He's sitting 95 this year, so he needs to be up there with both that and the two-seamer. And then the changeup needs some more love on the control and break because the changeup's really been the game changer. No pun intended because it's not even a good pun. That's been like the real big difference this year. He's got a 50% strikeout rate with it. They're not hitting it at all. Like, it is devastating. So I'm going to add a big-time break to it. I'm going to move it all the way up to 65. And I'm going to move the control up to 65 as well because that changeup, the arm action. I watched a couple of his outings just today, actually, and the arm action on it is so good. You could see the guys like kind of buckling, getting ready for that 95, and then realizing it was coming in the mid-80s. I might have to boost the velocity up on it. I don't know if he's sitting 81 with it anymore. Yeah, I'm going to boost the velocity up on it. It's not quite 81. That'd be awesome if we had a 14 mile per hour split, but that'd be disingenuous. I got to move it. 84. Yeah, 84 will work. So that's going to work. This card will be really interesting. This is another good lefty, possibly. This will be a BR lefty for now, but he's moving up. He's moving up in the world. He goes from a 44 all the way up to a 66. So this is a long-term investment right now because if he continues to pitch this well, I really think we're going to see even more upgrades from Wandy Peralta. Now, a few relievers to keep an eye on. I already mentioned Chris Davinsky. Also, Jose Leclerc. He was on last week's upgrades, and I didn't have time to write them down again. But the same upgrades apply. Like, he needs a Wandy-esque upgrade. By the way, you know how I mentioned that Wandy was second in swinging strike rate? You know who he's behind? Yep, Jose Leclerc. So Jose Leclerc needs a full update as well. If you want to see that from last week, it is available in the archives, but I had him up. I don't exactly remember what the upgrade ended up getting him at. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. Do you want to open? No? Okay, cool. It's your choice, computer. Yeah, I got him all the way up to a 70, from 52 to 70. So I stand by that for sure. And so he's somebody to keep an eye on as well. All right, that's going to do it for the hitters. For the pitchers, let me review these relievers very quickly. Hunter Strickland, 83 to 87. Justin Wilson, 79 to 82. Felipe Rivero, also 79 to 82. Brandon Maurer, 77 to 82. Brad Hand, 72 to 85. Tommy Kahnle, 68 to 75. And Wandy Peralta, 44 to 66. That'll do it. We'll see you after the update on May 5th. I'm going to try to get on the afternoon right as the update comes out and review it. But